All rise. The Honorable Judgey Therapist Vernique Esther presiding.
Greetings. Welcome to my courtroom. Therapist Courtroom, that is. I'm so excited to be with you once again because another day, another problem. Because y'all don't know how to act in these dating streets. Today, our defendant is at the first date dude. This sounds promising. State your case.
So I got some time. So I'm gonna give y'all a quick life update.
Okay.
I'm gonna be single forever. But let me tell y'all what's been going on lately. I thought I was about to tap in with some amazing news, y'all. Thought I might have found the one. Things are going good. We made it to date 5, and that's out here at the first date, dude. We made it to date 5. Things are going smooth. The energy was reciprocated. Like, everything was smooth. There was mutual attraction. Everything was cool. Until I started to care too much. Let me rewind that. So on date 5, we had a little too much to drink. With me, I'm not somebody that's like for drinking and driving. I feel like if you're gonna drink heavily, you need to be at your location, have a room close by, or be close to your home.
Amen.
Or just Uber. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I'm like that is because I lost a close friend of mine to drink driving when I was about 25, and it's just changed my outlook on that. Usually, if you ever see me out, I'm never going past 3 drinks, and I'm going to sober up before I get behind my wheel. But that's another story for another day. As far as the date go, we had too much to drink. I really didn't feel comfortable with her going home, but she insisted. We are adults. I can't stop her. So, my only ask was, make sure you text me when you get home so I know you got home safe. The text never came. We're into the next day around noon. I text her like, I'm hoping you're home since I haven't heard from you. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why, I asked that question, it's not to be controlling, or I don't need your location or anything like that. That stuff is weird. I don't know why y'all do that. But, I just need to make sure you're okay. Just because that's a trigger for me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I lost somebody like that. Her response was, I just woke up. I decided to stand on business because that annoyed me, and I asked her again, but why couldn't you text me when you got home? That was over a week ago. Haven't heard from her since. Now, I did everything right when it came to dating this woman. I held the doors. I made the reservation. She never went to Olive Garden or Cheesecake Factory. And here we are, ghosted. And it sucks.
Where do we begin? Number one, I want to start by saying that, just the name, the first date dude, right? And identifying yourself in that way, I feel like gives self-fulfilling prophecy, right? I don't know about you, even if we don't share the same spiritual orientation, I think that words mean something, right? So if you're only the first date dude, that's not giving me relationship man. I know that sounds cheesy, but are you setting yourself up in your mind and in the way that you carry yourself and the way that you think of yourself as the kind of man who is deserving, worthy, and in alignment with a healthy relationship? I don't know. But all right, away from the woo-woo stuff. I have a hard time with people who struggle deeply with self-pity. And that's what this young man gives me. I'm sorry. It gives a lot of self-pity. Everything was going good until I just cared too much. In girl land, we have, a man is cool up until you save his phone number. So I understand the idea of if you care too much, right? This idea that if I don't expect a lot out of something, then it's more likely to go well. But that's not really how life works. It's just the way that we process the disappointments and the experiences that we have had. Everything was going good. I thought I was going to have good news to share with you, but I just cared too much. It's very self-pity, and already that tells me you're likely not going to take accountability for whatever your part in this situation may have been. The green flag that I saw in this is that he cared about her safety and safety in general, right? I think this is something that men struggle with sometimes, is that they don't perceive safety in the same way that women do, and therefore sometimes they can be lackadaisical, or they can just be too far on a spectrum one way or another. So I appreciate the fact that he not only cared about her safety, her getting home, but just him and the way that he views like things like drunk driving, things like that. Of course, it stems from an experience that he has. But that, my friends, is where the red flag comes in. Because you caring about safety is one thing. You feeling triggered by somebody else's differentiation in value of safety is a totally different thing. I have said this in previous episodes of this show. Somebody else's trigger is not my responsibility. Especially when we are still casually dating. I don't know what it is we're not understanding about the fact that casual dating is not seriously dating. I'm not saying you can't care for people, you can't be good to people until they are your boyfriend, girlfriend, or until you're serious. But we have to understand that, like, if you're getting to know someone, especially if they are new to you, and the way that you met them is through a romantic encounter, right? You met at a club, you met at a bar, you met on a dating app. You don't know this person. Therefore, you cannot hinge the responsibility of avoiding triggers on them. It's not fair. So this whole thing of like, that's a trigger for me and I don't understand why, she didn't respond and I really needed to know. It's like, okay, but y'all are 5 dates in. I know that seems a lot to maybe somebody who calls himself the first date guy, but 5 dates is really not a lot. At best, that's 5 weeks, which is a month plus 1 week. It's not a long time of knowing somebody. You didn't know if she got home, and then you text her like, hey, haven't heard from you. Cool, makes sense. And then she's like, just woke up. And then now you caught yourself standing on business, which standing on business is killing y'all. Standing on business is killing y'all. Y'all be standing on all kind of business steps of business that you should be standing on. Standing on business should not be about, forcing people into your perspective. Standing on business is about you standing on your own standards. This was not you standing on business. This was you pitching a fit and operating out of your trigger. You felt triggered, so you needed her to respond to you in a particular way. So while you said that you were not trying to control her by asking about her safety, it shifted into a realm of control because you were demanding that she respond to you the way that you needed to be responded to in order for your trigger to be diminished, for you to feel comfortable. Because my thing is, if I just met you 5 weeks ago, I get you saying, hey, like, please let me know when you make it home safe. You just admitted that y'all was drunk, right? That she was drunk especially. I don't think the top thing on her mind when she got home was texting you. It was probably getting in the bed or getting a shower or throwing up or whatever, that whole situation did to her. Especially, you said that you texted her around noon and she said she just woke up. So chances are, sis was in a drunken stupor, fell asleep, woke up at 12 to your text message, and she is just now awakening to the world. And here you go, did you, I didn't hear back from you. Are you okay? She's like, oh yeah, I just woke up. And then you talking about well, why didn't you respond to me? Well, I'm alive now. So why are we worried about what didn't happen in the past? Now, is she wrong for ghosting you as a response? Yes. That's not nice. Ghosting people is never the right thing to do unless that person is just being a jerk. Most of the time I opt for like hey, I don't think we're in alignment. Let's just, call it. By the way, stop offering friendship as a consolation prize to people that you don't want to date anymore. Friendship is a serious relationship, right? And y'all need to stop offering it as if it's just some little, thing. Okay? But anyways, I digress. That's an over-exaggeration to how she should have responded. But if I'm like, yo, I'm drunk and you questioning me, like, I'm looking at you like, boy, who is you? I do think that she could have responded better to that or waited until she was sober to respond. And it's possible that her lack of response and her ghosting you is as a result of, she may not be that into you, which is okay, right? That's what dating is about, trial and error. But, she may not have been that into you. But I guarantee you that even if she had a roster of men, you kicked yourself out and lost the ability to move up on the roster because you were standing on the wrong kind of business. As a pro tip, asking why questions to people it puts people in the defensive. Asking why questions. So in therapy, I literally try my best to never ask a why question. I might say, hey, I find it curious that you did this. Talk to me about that, right? But you don't talk to people like that in real life, right? That works in therapy. I try to avoid why questions because it puts people on the defensive. If you're like, well, why did you do that? Or why do you like this? It's like, well, now I have to find reasons in order to appease you that make whatever the action, behavior, desire palatable for you and understandable for you. What you could have done instead was say, hey, I'm glad to know that you're safe. In the future, your safety is really important to me. If you can, remember to text me back. I would appreciate it, but I can't wait to see you again. I had a great time last night. Simple. Do you see how that's different than, okay, so why didn't you text me back when I texted you last night? You're saying that you're not trying to be controlling, but that's controlling adjacent because you are looking for a specific outcome to her behavior. Is that in her best interest? Sure, yeah, maybe. But the reality is, if she didn't text you and she did get in a car accident, you wouldn't know. Like, her telling you that she made it safely is reassurance, but there's nothing you could have done if she didn't. Like, let's be honest. It's a formality. Now, the last piece is that you said, I took her out, I held doors, I did this, I did that. She never had to go to Applebee's or Cheesecake Factory, which, by the way, y'all got one more time to talk about Cheesecake Factory. Ain't nothing wrong with Cheesecake Factory. I love Cheesecake Factory. That shrimp pasta that they have on the Skinnylicious menu, that ain't did nothing to nobody. And that bread is banging. Keep Cheesecake Factory's name out your effing mouths. But I digress. So you're over here listing off all the things that you did and didn't do for her without realizing that this is nice guy syndrome. Did you do those nice things for her, or did you do them because that's the kind of man that you are? Because if so, that shouldn't be a loss that you did those things. Like, oh, I did all these things for her. I just knew that it was going to end this way. Why? And women struggle with this too. I have clients who struggle with this idea that good behavior does not always equal good results. We are grown-ups. You are not always going to get the result that you think that you are expecting. As a matter of fact, it is entitlement. Me being a good woman to a man may not guarantee that I have a healthy or a positive relationship with that man. But I'm never stepping off the fact that I'm going to be a good woman no matter the scenario that I'm in. So if you struggle with that, I find that men struggle with feeling like their niceties are wasted. Well, if you feel that way, then maybe you were never a nice guy to begin with, and the things that you did were actually a form of manipulation in order to try and guarantee yourself certain results. Be who you are or don't, but don't make that somebody else's problem. Good behavior does not always equal good results. She may not have been that into you. Try not to ask why questions. And I think that there's a little bit of self-pitying and a lack of accountability involved here. I think that in some way you feel validated by victimhood. I'm not really into that. So my verdict is going to be for you to work on your self-esteem, to get clear on why you behave the way that you behave in relationships. Is it an act? Or is it truly who you want to be for the women that encounter you, whether they work out or not? And I'm always just going to say therapy, okay? Because that space will help you to figure those things out. Or as an alternative, maybe, because you said you were triggered, so I'm gonna go that route. But there's also the opportunity to have some male mentorship. Because I believe, and this is not just a male thing, but because I'm talking to you, I believe that we have to have a more empowered posture for dating. Everything can't be, these men, these women. Even if you have had negative experiences, try your best to live an empowered dating life. Nobody should be able to take your power from you. Nobody should be able to take your kindness and who you are and the integrity that you live in from you. You either are that person and you're gonna keep trekking until you find your match, or you're gonna keep being disappointed, decide to give up, and become embittered. The choice is yours. But that's my verdict. Thank you for watching another episode of the Therapist Courtroom, and I'll see y'all next week.